My name is Ken Cook. I'm an officer in Friends of Wolf Run, which is a local nonprofit that works in the watershed here in Western Lexington. We've been working with different partners for a number of years, including Kentucky River Watershed Watch, Bluegrass Community and Technical College, the University of Kentucky, Natural Resources and Forestry Group, all of CAFE, really, in terms of doing that. The Lexington Fayette Urban County Government and Audubon Society, and a whole host of organizations that come from the neighborhood. And we are really interested in our creeks. We like water. We have them going through our backyards, through our parks, and we want to make sure they're clean and functional. Basically, this is Springs Branch, which is the creek that goes behind my house. And we've been working here since 1997. We started water quality monitoring in this watershed, and this was one of our monitoring stations with Kentucky River Watershed Watch. We noticed there were severe impairments in terms of the aquatic life was impaired, meaning we weren't finding the critters in the creek we expected to find in the creek. There were bacteria problems, there were other problems with water quality in the stream. When we talked to the Kentucky Division of Water, their water quality scientists, we asked them, what can we do to improve these streams? And they had an immediate response, which is, well, improve the stream buffers. And when we asked them what they meant by that, they meant the vegetative zone, the trees, the shrubs, the native plants adjacent to the stream, and getting those reestablished with native plants and deep enough and far enough into the bottomland that it would stabilize the banks, it would shade the creek, it would filter pollutants running into the creek. So we were all about that. And so we started on that program around 2006, and this was one of our first sites. So around 2006, we were able to get a small amount of money from Kentucky American Water and from the Kentucky River Authority to do a stream buffer restoration program. And that involved cutting down invasive bush honeysuckle if it existed, and other invasive plants, and coming in with some native plants from different nurseries and different sources around town. So that funding went into funding the plant materials, but the labor was all volunteer. So we had students from Bluegrass Community and Technical College who came out and helped us clearing the bush honeysuckle and doing the native plantings. We had people from the neighborhood that came in and did a lot of the maintenance work and are doing a lot of the maintenance work. And then when the Water Quality Incentive Grant program started, funded by the city of Lexington and their water quality management fee, we were able to get more robust funding to pay contractors to come in and do this. And so the theory of operation was we would have volunteer work days where people would get in and do some basic bush honeysuckle killing and native planting, so they would get an idea of what we're doing. Basically, my personal role in this is doing paperwork that people don't want to do, i.e. the grant applications and that kind of stuff. I worked for the Kentucky Division of Water and retired from there, so I have some experience with grant management and organizing community groups to do this kind of restoration work. We have multiple projects around Wolf Run watershed and really throughout the city. There are other organizations, Neighbors United for South Elkhorn Creek, Hickman Creek Conservancy, Waterways Lex, Friends of Cane Run, that are doing this kind of work in other places. And if you're interested in getting involved, there's a couple avenues just to join up. One is you identify a creek that's near you you're interested in. You know, there are creeks all over Lexington, and you're probably within walking distance of your house. So figure out where those are. Then you figure out what condition they're in and where there are places where we can go work. The money is there if you want it. The expertise is there if you need it. We just need people to take the time to get out in nature, to dig in the dirt and to help things out. I think there were a number of challenges we had to face. First is just making people aware of the streams that they have in their neighborhoods, and that they can actually do something. So sort of bringing them up to speed in terms of the fact that their input actually will make a difference. These streams historically have been channelized and highly degraded, all the way back to early settlement. Were channelized for agriculture, and then of course, post-World War II development in our area, they would just move a stream at will. We have learned since then that those were bad practices that create problems further on down the road, but we just sort of need to make people aware of that. And then the final component is actually getting people to get out from in front of their TV and out into nature and out to the stream to realize what a cool spot we've got here. And that's what we want to do, is get you out to the creek, get you involved, and you can really make a difference. Just get out, see what creeks you have close to you, and the creek will tell you what it needs and the help it needs directly.